The sun is shining in the sky, hardly a cloud in sight, and we are going to have a fantastic race here today.
Drivers, start your engine! Cause we want retribution! Yeah, we want retribution!
But coming to the green here, it's getting cleaned out real well. Pace car's off, kick some ass.
There's the green flag and we're underway.
Green, 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 green. Outside, still there at your door. Good job, man. Nice and solid. Take care of yourself.
Three wide.
Here, Hawkins into the wall.
Oh, big trouble!
Crash in the back. Oh, there's a crash in the back.
Trouble.
Great job, doing awesome, buddy.
And hello, race fans, and welcome to the LA Coliseum. It is time for the main event. It is the Wendy's Clash from right here at the LA Coliseum. We had 50 cars here at the facility with 22 spots up for grabs, and after 5 heats with the top 4 advancing from each heat and 2 LCQs with 2 winners emerging, we have our field set and we are ready to go racing here at the LA Coliseum. 150 laps around this amazing stadium, this amazing facility. It is going to be absolutely fantastic to watch. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard here with you, bringing you the first WRLA piece of action from WRLA competition for the first time since July 22nd of 2023. That was the last race that we ran in WRLA competition. Of course, with CG Halt going to victory lane at Kansas Speedway. It is going to be a fun one. It is going to be a barn burner at that, and we are ready to go. As you can see here, we have brand new race cars that took to the track as of last night for the heats and the LCQs. These are definitely beautiful looking race cars. Unfortunately, they're not the actual next-gen cars, but hey, with the NPS 17 mod, this is as close as we're going to get, and by gosh, these things look as sexy as always. Well, pretty much as I mentioned, we have our top 22 cars that are sitting on the racetrack. They are ready to go, and they went through hellfire and brimstone here in the heats and LCQs last night to get to exactly where they are. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and meet your starting lineup here for the 2025 Clash right here at the LA Coliseum. So, of course, starting on the pole, we have Alex Bonsignor, Alexander Rowe. They make up the row number 1. Emily Anderson, Andrew Ramsey both have won heats 3 and 4. Tanner Parton completes the top 5. Janiyah Hill starting in the 6th position after finishing 2nd in her heat. Starting lineup rolling through on your screen right here. There's 11th through 20th here. Nathan Stapleton starting in the back. Bruno DiGiacomo, the lone Appalachia Motorsports driver in the field. And then, of course, the provisional starters that were the LCQ winners, Chase McClure, who won his LCQ to get in, and Wayne Lopez, who managed to get a win away from the number 20 of Jordan Sumner to get into the show and get the final transfer spot here for tonight. Well, of course, for the heats and LCQs here, the LA Coliseum last night to make up the field. Obviously, for this race, I mean, there's no points on the line. This is all just for pride and satisfaction and just for the fun of it. So, it's going to be a good one, ladies and gents. This is going to be an absolute banger of a race, and I can't wait for this, guys. For the first time since July 22nd of 2023, the WRLA Pepsi Cup Series is back, and we are ready to go. The drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up, but in order to get these 22 stars rolling on the track, we got to get the command to fire the engines. So let's go trackside and get just that.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there it is, ladies and gents. Engines are fired. Pace car is rolling off, and so are these 22 competitors. We're wasting no time here for this main event. Alexander Rowe and Alex Bonsignor. A duo of Alexes, if I may say, a veteran and a rookie, are going to lead the field down to the green flag and get the 2025 Clash. Here, the LA Coliseum started. There's the green flag, and we are racing. And already, right out of the gate, troubles for the number 34 of Alexander Rowe. This is just a disadvantage of starting up on the outside groove, so he's going to lose the second position to Andrew Ramsey. Bonsignor is going to lead lap number 1 and kind of check out here to just a little over of a second advantage over Andrew Ramsey, who now sits in second. Third is the number 34 of Alexander Rowe. Emily Anderson sits in the 4th position. Janiyah Hill completing the top 5. With Nikki Fox sitting in the 6th position. Here's the battle for 4th. There's Hill getting underneath of the 4 of Emily Anderson. This is the McGuire Motorsports team. Both cars are in this race. Bobby McGuire just started inside of the top 10. He has fallen out. He's in the 11th position, so he didn't fall too far back, but this is still very early in this race, and we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. So just as the famous quote goes, we have a long way to go, but a short time to get there. At least when it comes down to the end. But Janiyah Hill, as of right now, lap number 5 in the books. Currently just tucking in that 4th position right now. So she's doing actually a very fantastic job here in the number 7 machine. As now she's going to work her way down through the inside and definitely get into a zip code of her own. We're already closing in on lap traffic, and there's the 2 LCQ winners. That's Chase McClure in the 52, and as well as the 1 of Wayne Lopez. Both of them won their LCQ races to get in and clinch the final 2 transfer spots. They're fighting in front of race leader Alex Bonsignor. Meanwhile, up front, just a little bit behind them, Alexander Rowe is now going to try to take the 2nd position back from the 67 of Andrew Ramsey. So move Rowe back up into the 2nd position. Ramsey's going to start sliding back into 3rd. And here comes Janiyah Hill on the offense, trying to get to the inside of the 67, but she overcooks the turn in the 3rd corner, and she's going to lose a little bit of ground here to Ramsey. But Ramsey messes up in turn number 1. That's going to open up the door for Janiyah Hill to drive down to the inside to try to take the 3rd position away. Emily Anderson in tow in the number 4. And just a little bit behind them, here comes Andrew Miller in the 96 to try to get by the 32 of Nikki Fox. This is for the 6th position. And it looks like Miller is just actually not quite yet. Fox did get a pretty good run going into the 3rd corner, but not going to be able to make it stick on corner exit. Looks like Miller, off of turn number 2, is going to successfully clear Nikki Fox here for the 6th position, just a little bit behind them. Here comes Wyatt Walker in the 19 for Walker Family Motorsports. At least 2 of their cars are in here. Of course, Wyatt Walker in the 19. He's already moved up into the 8th position. Abby Walker, as of right now, currently sitting in 16th, but again, still got a long way to go, and a lot of positions could change within a fraction of a second. As you see on your ticker, Janiyah Hill has made the move up to 2nd and is now trying to work her way around the slower traffic. That's Chase McClure in the 52, of course. There's Valkyrie Atikian in the 23 machine, just a little bit ahead. And Bonsignor is checked out to a 1 1/3 seconds, 1.3 seconds over Janiyah Hill in the 7 machine. We talked about this a little bit ago as of last night, but if you're wondering what are the red stripes on the backs of some of these cars, like Janiyah Hill or even Chase McClure, for instance, well, those red stripes basically signify that they are part-time cars, so they are attempting all the races for the 2025 season, which actually is not necessarily a bad thing, because of course we have 36 full-time drivers, 14 part-time cars, and we have a few part-time cars in here, of course, with Janiyah Hill, Bobby McGuire, Chase McClure, Nikki Fox, at least 4 of those that I can name off the top of my head that are taking part in this race, that managed to make their way into the show via the the heats and as well as the LCQs, one of which was won by Chase McClure. McClure, as of right now, is currently dead last, 1 lap down. So far, 3 cars are 1 lap down as of right now. But Bonsignor has put on an absolute dominating performance after starting in first place. Since the drop of the green flag, he has not looked back with 20 laps in the books. Hill just trying to get by the 95 of Bruno Di Giacomo, the lone Appalachia Motorsports car, number 95. Trapped up on the outside, Hill gets around him successfully, but is getting heavily slowed down by some of the lap traffic. And Bonsignor is up on the outside. That might open up the door for Janiyah Hill to close in a full second. She just gained a full second because of that. And now she's got a chance to try to take this race lead away. She's pulled up to the back bumper of Alex Bonsignor. And Bonsignor cooks the turn again. Here comes Hill down on the inside and is going to... Oh, I thought she was going to have it, but Bonsignor sends it into the corner, but not going to be able to make it stick. New race leader, it's Janiyah Hill in the number 7 machine. Successfully going to be able to clear Bonsignor, at least for the moment. But Bonsignor is not making it easy on Janiyah Hill whatsoever. Just trying to send it into the corners. And so far making it stick, but the corner entry is where he's basically losing a lot of time. And this time, he's going to have to give up the first place position, as here comes Di Giacomo underneath of Alex Bonsignor. This is not for official race position, but that is to, at least for Di Giacomo, try to get one step closer to getting back onto the lead lap. Almost 30 laps complete. Alex Bonsignor once again continuing to struggle, as here comes Alexander Rowe in the number 34 machine for American Motorsports. Thought he was going to have an opportunity to get by Alex Bonsignor, but unfortunately just was not able to make it stick. As now he's going to tuck in the 3rd position. Wyatt Walker, after starting 9th in this race, he has already moved his way up inside of the top 5. In the 4th position, Braden Perez in the 88 machine, another Cologne Motorsports car. We have 3 of those Cologne Motorsports machines in the field. But for Braden Perez, he started just outside of the top 10. He's already moved up inside of the 5th position. So definitely a pretty good job here for Braden Perez, who is in his 2nd season in WRLA Pepsi Cup competition. First season was back in 2023. Didn't get his season off to the start that he was hoping for. Unfortunately, it wound up going upside down at the Michigan International Speedway back in April of 2023 in his rookie season. But... since then, he's been able to bounce back, and unfortunately, but after the hiatus, and back in WRLA Pepsi Cup competition, he's actually doing pretty good here in this race, moving up into the 5th position, and might try to take 4th away from the number 19 of Wyatt Walker here, as they head back into turn number 1 with 34 laps in the books. Looks like Perez is going to get it here on the entrance to turn number 3. Walker's just going to let him have it right here. And Walker again, Walker's in trouble there on the outside line. He just absolutely overshot the entrance to turn 1, and Andrew Ramsey made the same mistake through 3 and 4. Here comes Kyle Craven in the number 28 machine. Craven started in the back of the pack in this one. He started all the way back in the 19th position, and now here he is inside of the top 10. He's already up to 8th. How about that for this? Is the 2nd American Motorsports car that made the show via his heat. And so far, he's doing an absolutely amazing job here, as he's already moved his way up to the 7th position. Andrew Miller now moving up to 8th as Ramsey gets kicked back to 9th. And there's Roberto Crown Jr. in the number 21 machine. currently holding on to the 10th position. There's Bobby Maguire in the number 3. He started 10th in this race, and he's already now up on the outside, just trying to hold off the challenge from Emily Anderson. This is the battle for the 12th position, but Maguire is going to have to give that spot up and tuck in behind the 4 machine. But right now, Maguire just falling just outside of the top 10, you know, after 40 laps in the books, but hasn't been able to find any sort of breathing room to get to the inside. Now he does right here. He'll tuck in down on the bottom. Sebastian Vaughn, Nathan Stapleton going way wide. This is Vaughn's first unofficial outing, first overall outing here in the Pepsi Cup Series. You know, this is his overall debut, of course, in the clash right here, the LA Coliseum. Running in the 14th position as of right now, but he will be running full-time here for Moonstar Enterprise. And Jordan Sumner will be running the part-time schedule, while Sebastian Vaughn runs the full-time schedule. So now not Emily Emerson, but Nikki Fox has now moved her way up back inside of the top 10, as we're going to focus a little bit more towards the front of the field. Janiyah Hill still continuing to hold on to the race lead, but Alex Bonsignor is going to try to knock on the door to try to get the race lead back here in just a little bit. And Hill moving up to the middle line. That may not exactly be the best idea, especially at a place like the LA Coliseum where there is absolutely no banking whatsoever. She's going to get to the inside of Abby Walker in the 18 to try to put her 1 lap down, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So put Walker 1 lap down in the number 18 machine. And Bonsignor once again starting to lose ground from the number 7 of Janiyah Hill. What's actually kind of interesting is that Janiyah Hill is leading this race, and there's Bobby in the number 3 machine. He's already entering turn 1, and they're not even too far apart from each other. So Bobby Maguire's going to go a lap down to his girlfriend. That's kind of interesting. That is interesting. Maguire has not been able to find any sort of breathing room on the bottom. Even if he did, it was just for a little bit of time, but now he might fall into the clutches of Janiyah Hill here, as he's going to go 1 lap down here shortly. This would be a very interesting conversation at the dinner table, if you ask me. But Hill messes up the corner in turn number 3. This is going to allow Maguire some breathing room to try to pull up to Nathan Stapleton and try to make a pass, but Stapleton, with that veteran experience, of course, manages to get a good corner exit and try to keep his distance from the 3 of Bobby Maguire. Oh, Hill goes way wide there through 1 and 2. That's not exactly what she would have wanted there. That is going to allow the number 22 of Bonsignor to close in just a little bit more. But remember, he's got that lap car right in front of him. That's Rogel Dorn in the 86 for Durrani Racing. He's going to move to the inside of the 86 machine. So that way there is clear breathing room between himself and Janiyah Hill, whom again goes wide through 1 and 2. And this may be exactly what Janiyah Hill needs, but what Bonsignor needs, actually, but that's not what he needed whatsoever. He goes wide through turn 3 and 4, and there's Janiyah Hill getting to the inside of Bobby Maguire. Maguire goes really wide, and he officially goes 1 lap down to Janiyah Hill. Oh boy, I'm curious to know what exactly is going through the mind of Bobby Maguire right now. He just got lapped by his girlfriend there. That's actually something. But we are past the 100 lap to go mark here in the clash at the LA Coliseum. Janiyah Hill is leading the charge here with 59 laps complete. Alex Bonsignor is in second. Braden Perez moves up to third, with Wyatt Walker consistently sitting in the 4th position. And Kyle Craven currently rounds out the top 5, with Andrew Ramsey 6th, Nikki Fox 7th. Running in 8th is the 34 of Alexander Rowe. He was our outside pole sitter coming into tonight's event, with the 21 of Roberto Crown Jr. 9th, and Tanner Parton completing to the top 10, and Janiah Hill goes way wide there. Here comes Sebastian Vaughn to try to get his lap back, and he will successfully get back on the lead lap right there. At least temporarily for the moment, he is back on the lead lap, but again, Janiah Hill goes wide. That is going to allow Rogel Dorn to slip low. And it looks like Rogel Dorn is going to get his lap back in the number 86 machine as they head down the back straightaway once again. Back into the third corner. Hill continuing to go wide through 1 and 2. That may not exactly be the strategy here, but as of right now, she has plenty of breathing room between herself and Bonsignor, who still holds on to the second position. Braden Perez not too far behind. And Wyatt Walker getting by the 23 of Valkyrie Atikian, the lone Trinity River racing car in the field as of right now. And she's currently running in the 19th position, but here she goes underneath of the 19 of Wyatt Walker. Remember, this wouldn't be for official track position. And McGuire goes wide here. That opens up the door for Braden Perez to slip by and try to get one step closer to taking the second position away from Alex Bonsignor in the number 22 machine. Alex Bonsignor has been a part of WRLA since its inception in 2017. He managed to go to victory lane at the Talladega Superspeedway that year. That currently is his one and only Pepsi Cup Series win on his resume. And since then, he kind of has been one of those drivers that's performed pretty consistently, but for the most part has been relatively quiet. 2020, he raced for, of course, for a Toyota team of his own, of course, with Avon's Racing. Definitely a very well-known team in WRLA. But he drove Toyotas for his own team, and then 2023 came around, he switched to Chevrolet, and now here he is driving the Ford Mustangs. But in the first season, of course, he drove Dodges, so pretty interesting there as he has driven, probably in my mind, more manufacturers than anybody else in the WRLA roster. Which actually, that's actually pretty impressive there. Pretty impressive stats for Alex Bonsignor here as Tanner Parton goes a lap down to Janiah Hill. The gap between Hill and Bonsignor is just under a second. But of course, in between them is our winner from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. That is Tanner Parton in the 07 machine. Bonsignor, you just saw in the background, he went way, way, way wide through 1 and 2, and he's going to lose a lot of ground right there to the number 7. But looks like here that Janiah Hill has got a lot of traffic in front of her. She goes wide. That allows the 07 of Parton to get to the inside and try to get his lap back. And that might open up the door for Alex Bonsignor. This might be the thing that Bonsignor needs if he wants to go back to the race lead. But they both pretty much ran the same line as they both have cars to their inside as Abby Walker slips low on the 22 of Bonsignor. They're both side by side. Both the first and second are side by side with lap traffic. And it looks like Parton is going to try to get by, is going to successfully get around Janiah Hill here in the 7. And Abby Walker just got by Alex Bonsignor. And now Walker's going to try to set her sights on Janiah Hill to try to get back on the lead lap. But Hill, of course, with a very clear, pretty much cleared all the way around her for the most part. No traffic pretty much around her as she was able to slip down towards the bottom and at least make it work. But as of right now, pretty much the action has been just trying to get by slower traffic and the lap traffic. you know, trading positions with one another or trying to pass the lead lap cars to try to get one of their laps back, or at least try to get back on the lead lap. So far, we only have 15 cars left on the lead lap, and we're gonna dwindle that back down to 14 as Tanner Parton once again goes back to being one lap down. We're just past halfway home here in the clash at the LA Coliseum. Surprisingly enough, we have not had a yellow flag here in this race. Would have thought that we would have had one like right at the beginning, you know, especially with how a little bit cluttered the start just got there, with all those drivers pretty much stopping at the entrance of turn number 3 and everybody just taking evasive action there. But surprisingly enough, we managed to stay green for this long, and Janiyah Hill continuing to hold on to that top position, with Braden Perez, who's now taken the second position away from Alex Bonsignor, move the 88 up into the second position. How about that for Braden Perez? Meanwhile, further in the back, Alexander Rowe managed to take the 4th position away from Wyatt Walker. Walker now has, because of that, of course, slipped back to 5th. He's just 0.7 of a second back behind Alexander Rowe. Nikki Fox not too far behind, as she has her hands full with the 25 of Stephen Colon. She officially is going to break free from that battle and try to go after Wyatt Walker for the 5th position, trying to get back inside of the top 5. Colon goes way wide over here as Kyle Craven got relegated back to the 7th position, but so far hasn't been out of it. Nathan Stapleton just barely shoving that door wide open between himself and Bruno De Giacomo, at least to try to stay down on the bottom line. Stapleton still holding on to 8th. Emily Anderson in the 9th position. She goes way wide. That could open up the door for Roberto Crown Jr. to slide low. But Crown messes up the entry going into turn number 3. Here comes Andrew Ramsey to the inside. This is the battle for the 10th position. Ramsey trying to capitalize. Meanwhile, just a little bit behind them, there's Janiyah Hill in the 7, putting a lap on Wayne Lopez in the 1 machine. He won the second LCQ to nab the final provisional spot to get into the show, and now he's going a lap down from the 13th position. So that means we have 12 cars left on the lead lap, and these two are pretty much fighting to stay on the lead lap right now. That's Sebastian Vaughn in the 54 trying to get by Roberto Crown Jr. He might successfully do that going through turns 3 and 4, which he does. So move Vaughn up into the 11th position, and Roberto Crown Jr. in danger of going 1 lap down. That is exactly going to be the case here as they head through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Hill to the inside, and that will put the 21 of Crown 1 lap down. But look at the gap that Janiyah has over the 88 of Braden Perez. Just a little over 5.5 seconds. That's how huge her gap is on the 88 of Perez. What an impressive performance by Janiyah Hill in the 7. Ever since she took the race lead away from the 88 or the 22 of Alex Bonsignor, she has not looked back. There's been a couple times where she came really close to losing the top position to Bonsignor, but of course Bonsignor slipped back to the 3rd position, just 0.7 back now from Braden Perez. But other than that, Janiyah Hill has done an amazing job all night long. And I got to give a props to all these drivers. Doing an absolutely amazing job of keeping their cars clean and not really doing anything wild or crazy on the racetrack. But they've done an absolutely amazing job. And I couldn't be any more proud, because I would have thought we would have had at least 1 or 2 yellow flags. But surprisingly, again, they've kept it clean and green for the most part, and, you know, everything has been all good. So coming around, 100 laps complete, 50 laps to go now. Your top 10 again goes as follows here as we're inside the 50 to go mark. Janiyah Hill leads the charge. Alex Bonsignor in second. Then third is Alexander Rowe, who slips back to third. Bonsignor managed to get the second position back. I did forget to mention that. But Brayden Perez slips back to fourth because of it. Wyatt Walker in fifth. Then Kyle Craven sixth. Nikki Fox, 7th, Nathan Stapleton, 8th, Sebastian Vaughn, 9th, and Andrew Ramsey completes the top 10, but Hill is in trouble. She got trapped up on the outside. Bobby McGuire, how about this? This kind of comes full circle here as McGuire is trying to chase down his girlfriend to get back on the lead lap from the 13th position. He is the first car 1 lap down, and here he goes to the inside to try to get the lap back. He does across the stripe. He holds the bottom, and that messes up Janiyah Hill by about a lot. And she barely holds the spot on Abby Walker, who is also trying to get back on the lead lap. She currently sits in the 14th position. 3 seconds now separates the 7 and the 22 with 45 laps to go here in the clash at the LA Coliseum. This is actually for a caution-free, again, I go back to it, for a caution-free race, this has been actually a pretty impressive clash to say the least. I do understand, you know, there's not really a ton of action going on when you really think about it, but I mean, obviously when you see it, but when you really think about it, it's really impressive of how they managed to keep it clean and green for as long as they have. And we have not had a caution, so at least for incidents. So, I mean, they're definitely doing a lot better than what the McDonald's Cup Series did last year when they ran their clash at New Smyrna last February, so at least last year. So they're doing really well. Bobby McGuire once again goes a lap down to Janiyah Hill. That time that McGuire had of staying on the lead lap, unfortunately, was short-lived. So now he falls back to being 1 lap down. There's Alex Bonsignor, who is back up into the second position. Just a little ways back, 3 seconds behind. There's Alexander Rowe with Brayden Perez trying to chase him down to nab that third position back. Here comes Wyatt Walker to the inside of Kyle Craven. This is the battle for the 5th position. Walker trying to get it back, but so far hasn't really made a whole lot of progress to try to get back inside of the top 5. Just a little ways back, there's Nikki Fox getting to the inside of Nathan Stapleton. That is for the 7th position. And Stapleton is just barely going to have time to get to the inside and you know, hold that bottom line. But he runs the middle right there through 1 and 2. That may open up the door for Bruno Di Giacomo to drive to the inside here. Is where we now have 35 laps to go coming up here in just a couple seconds. As there's Hill getting passed by the 18 of Abby Walker. 1.84 seconds now is the difference between Janiyah Hill and Alex Bonsignor, and the gap may just grow a little bit shorter. Hill went way wide through turns 3 and 4. The gap is now shrunk by at least 0.7 of a second. It may go down just a little bit more. The gap only went down by 4/100ths between Hill and Bonsignor. Bobby McGuire once again back on the attack to try to get back on the lead lap once again. Remember though, Bobby, that's your car right in front of you. That may not be your girlfriend, but that may not be just your girlfriend in front of you, but that's your car. That's another one of your cars right in front of you that is leading this thing. So just be careful, dude. Just be careful. Alex Bonsignor slips up, though. He lost a lot of time as he goes way wide through the corner again. That opens up the door for Alexander Rowe to get back up into the 2nd position. But Bonsignor not going to give it up, though, just yet. He's done this before earlier in the race, but again, he goes wide through 3 and 4, and he's going to lose more ground as Andrew Miller gets right on by, at least for now, at least for the time being. Miller clears Bonsignor for the moment, but Bonsignor sends it back into the corner, but not able to make it stick. This could also reopen the door for Braden Perez, which it does. Perez gets to the inside of the 22 of Bonsignor for the 3rd position. And looks like Perez just may get it across the stripe right here. He clears the 22 of Alex Bonsignor, who again goes wide through 1 and 2. That is definitely something that Alex Bonsignor did not want to have happen. With now 26 laps remaining here in the Wendy's Clash right here, the LA Coliseum. Janiah Hill leading the charge, putting on an absolutely dominating performance. But she has done an amazing job just maintaining the gap that she has had over the 2nd place car, whether it have been Alex Bonsignor, Braden Perez, or now Alexander Rowe. She has done an absolutely incredible job here tonight. And what a performance here for the McGuire Racing team. Whether if it was Janiah Hill, whether if it would have been Bobby McGuire, I mean, you know, regardless of the fact, I mean, whether if it was one or the other leading the charge, they have had an absolutely amazing weekend, of course, with both cars making the show. Janiah Hill managing to start up close to the front of the field, and she is still leading the charge like there is no tomorrow. She's held on to the top spot for as long as she has. And she could be very well on her way to winning her first overall Pepsi Cup Series win. You know, victory, of course. I mean, it wouldn't be for points, and it wouldn't be like an official win since this is an exhibition race. But this would be a huge confidence booster for McGuire Motorsports as far as, you know, just trying to get into the races here for the 2025 season, especially coming up in a couple weeks' time, or a week and a half, on Wednesday, February 12th, when we go to Daytona for Daytona 500 pole qualifying. You know, it's going to be this is going to be a fantastic season. I can promise that to you guys, because these races coming up here later on in the schedule are going to be races that you are not going to want to miss, because this season could be a barn burner, if anything. Less than 20 laps to go. Janiah Hill has managed to open the gap back up to a 3.4 second advantage over now 3.6 second advantage over new 2nd place Braden Perez. He managed to get the 2nd spot back from Alexander Rowe, and Rowe now is in trouble once again from the 22 of Alex Bonsignor. And look who's joined the party. That's the 2nd American Motorsports car of Kyle Craven, as he's pulled up to this fight that's happening right in front of him for 3rd. How about that there for Kyle Craven? Again, he started 19th in this race. 19th, and he's already up inside of the top 5. He's challenging his own teammate, Alexander Rowe, for the 4th position, and he's going to get it. What a drive by Kyle Craven. Less than 15 laps to go. 13 this time by. Of course, Hill just took that. Abby Walker just messed up the corner through turn 1. And that opens up the door for Andrew Miller to get to the inside. And he's going to take 14th away. Just remember, we only have, as you can see there, we have 12 cars that are left on the lead lap. Emily Anderson is the last car on the lead lap. It might be the first car 1 lap down, as Janiah Hill gets to the inside of the 4, but Janiah just went a little bit too deep coming out of turn number 2, and loses ground to the number 4 of Emily Anderson to try to put her 1 lap down. 10 to go in the Wendy's Clash here at the LA Coliseum. And this race is absolutely blown by in a hurry. It's been, what, almost 45 minutes? And this race has gone by just like that. 4 seconds now between Janiah Hill and the 88 of Braden Perez, whom 0.6 of a second back is Alex Bonsignor. Well, now new third place car of Kyle Craven. Bonsignor slips back to 4th. This is the lowest that he has been all race long, of course. I mean, he's been in 4th place before tonight, but 4th place has been the lowest that Bonsignor has been all race long. So, I mean, regardless of the fact, he's been consistently inside of the top 5 all night. Same can be said here for the number 7 of Janiah Hill. She started 6th in this race after finishing 2nd in the first heat. And now here she is, leading the charge with 5 laps to go, trying to get by the 07 of Tanner Parton. She's going to successfully do just that. Wyatt Walker and Emily Anderson both fighting what looks to be for the 11th position here. Looks like Anderson's going to get that over the 19 of Wyatt Walker as they come off of turn number 4 with 3 laps of racing to go here in the Wendy's Clash right here at the LA Coliseum. It has been an absolutely great race despite the fact that it has been caution free. Hill goes way wide through 3 and 4, but it may not make too much of a difference at this point. But it has been an absolutely amazing race despite it being caution free. And it might end in a Cinderella story. White flag goes in the air. 1 lap to go for Janiah Hill. What an absolutely dominating performance. She took the race lead away from Bonsignor. She has not looked back. And here she comes off of turn 4. Checkered flag. Janiah Hill wins the Wendy's Clash here at the LA Coliseum. Braden Perez comes home 2nd. Kyle Craven 3rd, Alex Bonsignor 4th, Alexander Rowe completing the top 5 with the 32 of Nikki Fox in 6th, Stapleton coming home in 7th, 8th Roberto Crown Jr., 9th the 67 of Andrew Ramsey, and Emily Anderson rounds out the top 10. How about that? What a night, what a race. A caution-free race here at the LA Coliseum that ends with Janiah Hill winning an absolutely dominating fashion after taking the race lead away from the number 22 of Alex Bonsignor, who opened up the race pretty much dominating right from the start. But what an absolutely amazing race here tonight. Again, caution-free. I'm actually pretty impressed by that. I'm actually really impressed by that. Of course, yes. I mean, maybe 1 caution would have done pretty well, but I mean, other than that, it's been an absolutely amazing race here tonight. As you take a look at the rest of your finishing results, Wayne Lopez, after starting dead last, ends up finishing in the 11th position. Wyatt Walker 12th, Tanner Parton 13th, Sebastian Vaughn 14th. Whom I believe was the last car that finished on the lead lap. Andrew Miller, I think he might have been the last. I think Miller might have been the last car that finished on the lead lap. And then, of course, we have Stephen Colon, who might have been the first car 1 lap down. Abby Walker, Rogel Dorn, Bruno Giacomo, Baki Rayatiki, and Bobby McGuire, who actually had himself, started 10th, unfortunately, fell all the way back to 21st throughout the night. Definitely pretty unfortunate, but still great showing here for McGuire Motorsports. Of course, with Janiah Hill winning, and Chase McClure rounds out the field, finishing shotgun on the field. But that is pretty much going to do it here for Pepsi Cup Series action here at the LA Coliseum. What an amazing night it has been. What an amazing weekend it has been, of course, with the heats and the LCQs. And of course, with the main event here tonight, it has been an absolutely amazing night of racing. Big, huge congratulations to Janiah Hill and McGuire Motorsports for nabbing the win here in the Wendy's Clash right here at the LA LA Coliseum. And the next time you're going to see us, well, it's going to be just a little bit of time, because we're going to be taking 11 days off, and we'll be back with you on the 12th of February at Daytona for Daytona 500 pole qualifying. That all goes down on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're hoping, and that's actually going to be pretty entertaining at that. That is going to be the beginning of the road to the Daytona 500, which will be on Saturday, February 15th. And that race probably is going to be just as entertaining. Well, that pretty much is going to do it. One more time, congratulations to Janiyah Hill on getting the win here in the Wendy's Clash right here at the LA Coliseum. I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. Take care, everybody, and we will see you all on February 12th at Daytona to begin the road to the Daytona 500. Have a good one, y'all.